Hey everybody, Alcvin, back at Bamboo Inn. I'm going to talk today about the technique of Koro Koro, which is quite a common effect in classical Shakuhachi music. So pieces such as like Koden Sugumori or Tsuru no Sugumori or have a lot of Koro Koro because it kind of imitates the sound of like crane movement. So the effect sounds like this. Sounds like that. So like kind of fluttering birds or bird movements. But there's variations of koro like ko koro, which is a common phrase, or ko koro, or other variations. There's another variation that has the same kind of pitch, which is a ha araro, which is pretty common in Shakuhachi music. But so I'm going to break down the movement of Koro Koro. It's a very fast movement for the fingers. So when you practice it, you have to slow it way down so that you can get it technically before you work up to a very high speed. So how we practice that is, first of all, the thumb fifth hole is always open. And we alternate between opening one hole and opening two hole. But the key point, the important point is the closed points. So you have to go like this. So let's start with the first hole open. The closed point, open two, close, open one, close, open two. Okay, so that closed point is really important. If you don't know about the closed point, then you're going to be all over the place and it will sound very messy. It'll sound kind of like this. And also an important point about this technique is that it has to be an even speed. It can't be slow, fast, slow, fast. It has to be the same speed. So when you practice slow and in a kind of a steady beat, and with that image or the closed point in your mind. So let's start out with a very slow pace. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can use your metronome to help keep that same pace. It's a very useful tool for developing this technique. So once you have a steady, solid, slow pace in your Koro Koro, and you can do divisions of like 1 bar or 2 bar, depending on how much breath you can do. As a beginner, your breath is very short. We know that because you're still working your embouchure, and the embouchure is what controls how much breath you let out. But so you can practice like 1 bar, like, and take a breath in between each bar. It's like. So until you can do like longer breaths, like. and so forth. And then, so the next step is to ramp the speed up. So you can 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once you get solid on that speed, then you can ramp the speed up a little bit more. 2, 3, 4. And then even more faster once you get comfortable with that speed. And even faster with that. So there you're getting close to the real speed of Koro Koro, which is a very high speed. Okay. But when you're working on your slower speeds, if you start to mess up, then you know you're not ready for the next level of speed. So you gotta work to keep that steadiness in your Koro Koro. So, and then eventually the last speed is a very so you notice that when I'm going to a higher speed, the bamboo to my fingers is very close and tight. So I'm not lifting very high. But when you're working with your lower speeds, you have to kind of lift it up higher. But once you get quick, keep it close and tight to the bamboo. You can see. There you go, Koro Koro. 頑張って。